But he might want to reflect on the fact that under his government, he oversaw PFI contracts for service properties, which I can confirm in Bristol, Bath and Portsmouth cost...
Yes, James Cartlidge, what the hell are you talking about? But anyway, hello there, and I do hope you're all well. Now, this is our Minister for Defence Procurement, James Cartlidge, rather apt name, because you can get cartilage from anywhere in your body, like in your ears, anywhere else. I've got it even on my fingertips because I enjoy playing the guitar. Clearly, our James Cartlidge has got it between the ears because he made a complete bell-tap of himself in the House of Commons on Monday. Why was he making a complete bell-tap of himself? Well, Shadow Minister Luke Pollard asked him a question about the current state of armed forces accommodation and highlighted an example from a serving officer as an example.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In March, Labour launched Homes Fit for Heroes, our campaign to highlight the failings of defence housing for service personnel. One member of the armed forces who has served for over 2 decades told us they feel pushed to leave the army due to their house being in such a state of disrepair they describe it as unfit to live in. The government could have solved this crisis over the past 13 years if they wanted to, but it's getting worse and worse. With personnel leaving because of poor housing, will this problem be fixed by the time of the next general election, or will the Minister be leaving it to the next Labour government to clean up this Tory mess?
Now, if you're not sure what the Homes Fit for Heroes is all about, well, it's a website where if you live in armed forces accommodation and it's practically falling apart, I suppose, around your ears, you can send Labour the evidence and even photographic evidence as well. So that's quite interesting. And if you want, I'll leave a link in the description box for anybody who may feel they may find it useful, or they may know somebody who may find it useful. So, anyway, back to this bell tap.
Well, it's a pleasure to engage with the Labour front bench for the first time. It's interesting, Mr. Speaker. First of all, again, it doesn't welcome the significant investment we put in place. Of course, we do recognise that we've had issues with mould and so on. These have been long-running, long-standing. I would emphasise that the maintenance backlog from December is now down by 75%. But he might want to reflect on the fact that under his government, he oversaw PFI contracts for service properties, which I can confirm in Bristol, Bath and Portsmouth had a cost of £25,000 per home, whether they were occupied or not, Mr. Speaker.
I had to laugh at the fact that he said their old record investment line got announced in. Didn't say how much it was, though. Clearly, judging by the long-running mould problem, it's not enough then, is it? Or they've either misspent it, or he's just talking utter rollicks. Who knows? But he then personally lost it for me when he tried to blame an MP who was voted in by his constituents in 2017 for something that happened during the Gordon Brown era. Really made you look incredibly stupid there, James. Also, the blame Labour for anything line just doesn't really hold true now, does it, James? As we've already seen in the recent local elections. You know, this is a party that has, for the last 13 years, I've always said, don't judge us on the last regime and their past mistakes. Judge us on our actions now. Well, practice what you preach, James. You cannot have it both ways in my eyes. You cannot demand people to distance the present regime from the mistakes of your past regime and then throw muck at a shadow minister who's only been an MP since 2017 about something that could have possibly happened about 15 years ago. It's a bit small beer, innit? The thing is, for me, there is a serious question that needed a very serious reply from a very serious MP about what you're going to do about it. Instead, he just wasted his time looking for mud to sling at the opposition that hasn't been in power for 13 years to a guy who wasn't even an MP at the time. But this is where we are, unfortunately. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Until the next time, I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.